All right, what's going on, y'all? Professor Devin here. So I'm I'm gonna go live every week. This segment is gonna be called Let's Talk Business. I'm gonna do it every week, and what I'm gonna do here is just spend a few minutes. I have not promoted this at all, so whoever finds it finds it. But what I'm gonna do is speak for a few minutes on just business, and this time because it's a lot of things about business that if you look at business, it's the reason why some make it and some don't. It's because it's just so many things in it. So many things have to align for you to be successful. But this week, what I want to talk about is having millionaire problems. A lot of people want that money, right? Millionaire problems. First of all, having $1 million is the result of something. So you don't just get $1 million. You have to do something. Even if you a lottery win the lottery, you bought the ticket. Even if you got it inherited, someone did something for that $1 million to show up. And I always talk about money in the sense of money is the result of something. It's not the start of something. It's the result of something. So when people think about and talk about um, wanting to be a millionaire, you really need to understand what that comes with. That comes with millionaire problems. Like things that you may think makes things a lot easier because we measure we like measure our quality of life based on money. So people would think like, oh, such and such got it made, they shouldn't have to worry about anything because they're rich or they're wealthy. And th- just really understanding like being wealthy does not stop someone from having to grieve or having to face illness or having to be sick or having loved ones that are sick, having loved ones that are in relationship breakups. Things still happen to people no matter what level of money they have. What the average person doesn't know is the things that accompany money that's wrong or that's heavy or could be problematic. And I'm here to tell you million dollar seekers to be cognizant of those things and be ready and suit up for it. I talk about in my books and everything else the importance of being comfortable with discomfort. And my books have went on to sell tens of thousands of copies. I'm not like a rapper who sold millions, but sold tens of thousands of copies. A decent amount, and wound up with a decent, significant following. Um, Most of my following is in our like database newsletter. People go to the websites and subscribe to newsletters. Don't do a whole lot of social media up until this point, kind of like getting used to the idea of it. But I've, you know, gotten around, spoken, been on stages, met dignitaries and statesmen, and been around successful business people, became a successful business person myself, have stories that go around, have stories of triumph and tribulation and what can almost seem biblical. Much of what entrepreneurs go through is biblical. Um, their stories can definitely be uh, part of some chapters in the Bible, and some of the lessons can definitely be proverbs from the Bible. Um, so I just want to just kind of highlight that so you can understand that not because you amass yourself to $1 million means that all your problems go away. As a matter of fact, they say in this cliche, more money, more problems. It is cliche in the sense of how people just use it, but there's a lot of truth to that. More money, more problems. What are some of the problems? I mean, Professor Devin, please tell me. Yeah, you become a target. You become a target by the people who are um, opposed to your success. So that's usually, and I'm a military guy, ex-military. So that's usually people aiming from the sky. That's your sky battles, your air defense battles, where the people probably above you, like maybe competitors or whatever. They're flying too, and they're trying to shoot you, take you down. And then you got the attacks from the ground, uh, surface air missiles that will be coming from people that uh, want to just target you, and that target comes from many different places. Where I'll speak a lot about here on um, Let's Talk Business. Those come from, they can come from employees, they can come from customers, they can come from your circle, family, friends. It can come from those places where where you least expect it, right? Because you would think, like, I'm paying my employees, so why would they make me a target? Yeah, they do. Some people try to exploit. Some people try to take advantage of. You got to really have the proper leadership abilities and all of that in order to be a good employer. Um, because if the wrong dynamic is established, if you go too far to the left of comfort and familiarity, that can be exploited. If you go too far to the right of being rigid and militant, that can be a turnoff. So it's like you got to strike this balance, right, of being respected and accepted at the same time. That could be very difficult because then you can have people who are, so you may have some workers that identify with you so well that they think they're you, or they think they should be you, or they think they should be in your circle. And those things can become problematic because, of course, you want people that are have some level of loyalty to you, but you don't want them to expect a degree of favoritism that can disrupt your business. So you have those things, because you're successful. You have those attacks, right? And then you have the attacks just from people on the street who may know. One of the reasons why I'm kind of less averse to um, less averse to uh like public success too much is because the more people know you, the more you're a target. Like, you can't have a simple conversation anymore. The people may probably thinking you stole their ideas, or maybe they feel you were inappropriate, or just all kinds of stuff. A lot of this stuff happens because you're largely successful. And what I've identified is a lot of times when you're on your way up, it's like a hazing program where a lot of people haze you. A lot of people, they criticize you, they knock you to try to get you down on your way up. You make it, you push through it, and you get there and you stabilize and you start to cruise at a nice altitude. The turbulence tend to stop. They tend to kind of fall back and leave you alone because they're like, oh, okay, you're ready made. Because a lot of times people do that stuff because they're trying to knock you down. They're trying to see you fall down. So if you don't and you continue to push through it, then it's great. If you're not able to push through it, then it's great for them, for those that didn't want you to push through it. So there are just so many things that comes with it. My book back there, Blackpreneurship, 50 obstacles Black entrepreneurs face and how to overcome them. I speak a lot about those obstacles as well, just in entrepreneurship. But in success, there's also its other set of uh, things you got to look out for. So more money, more problems is a thing, but there's some real truth and some real stuff to it. The pressures that you have, uh, it is just a place that could be very, very difficult for you. And in order to really navigate the success of being an entrepreneur, is you really need to watch your circle. You might have to realign your circle. You may have to move some people around. Some people may not be able to go with you. You may have to um, let some people kind of leave some people behind, and kind of move like that. You're gonna probably have those issues, as well. But navigating through it, though it has its own issues, if you're able to get through it, um, you can have a very comfortable, decent life. You set all your stuff up properly. Now, a lot of people would say, "Oh, you making success sound gloomy." No, what I'm doing is it's not all motivational. Go, 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 go. You have to be prepared. Too many people crash and burn. What over 80% of businesses crash and burn within its first 5 years. Um, I've been blessed to be in business entrepreneur full time 20 plus years. Um, but it has come with its own share of struggle, its own share of issues. So um, that's what this segment, or this, I'll call it a podcast or something that you would call it, is about. Let's talk business. It's just me getting on here informally, going live, um, without announcing, just going live and having a dialogue with individuals about business. And I'm gonna do this every week. I'm gonna do this every Monday as long as God gives me the strength to do it and my schedule permits. I'm gonna do this every week, and we're gonna talk about it. But today's lesson: millionaires bring million dollar problems, and you want to be very comfortable and prepared to know that that's what that journey is all about. So um, I'll see you again next week. You can tell family and friends, totally up to you, but I'm letting this be an organic experience where I'm not saying anything. I'm just coming on here and sharing, and you guys could do the same thing, and we just grow our pool of discussion around business and the difficulties of it. Maybe ask some questions. I answer those questions, have some interesting dialogue, and we pretty much go from there. All right. So I'm gonna wrap it up. It's not gonna be long. I'm gonna just get on here and do this. It won't be long. Um, just some thoughts for the week, some ideas for the week, some challenges for the week, thought, power moments, power thoughts, and how we can move forward as entrepreneurs as we're trying to navigate through this difficult landscape of entrepreneurship. Economy is a thing. We're in a political season. Um, uh, we have um, so many things that are happening. Technology stepping up. What type of businesses should you really go in? Um, how do you really navigate and and fly in business in these climates? That's also a very difficult thing. How do you deal with illnesses? How do you deal with access you give to management, that kind of stuff? It's so much to talk about in business. I've watched a lot of people, so-called experts, claim to talk about stuff, but when we're talking below the surface, like the real meat and potatoes. How do we really dig in and have these discussions? So meet me here every week, every Monday. I'm trying to make it at 12 noon, lunchtime, where we kind of chop it up, uh, and you guys uh, can get back to work, get back to your week, get back to your after, Monday. You get to the rest of the week after we discuss uh, business. So let's talk business. First episode, I'm going to wrap, and I'll see you here next week as we talk business. Enjoy your week.